All right, we got a 1v1 here, Aerocrastic versus Xiphos. Aerocrastic will be playing the Norskins today versus Xiphos' Empire. So let's take a look at these two great armies before our battle is underway. So taking a look over here at Xiphos' army, we can see it's a lot of base state troops. Pause this real quick. It's a lot of base state troops. We have a lot of swordsmen, here, here, and here. We have the Sigmar Sons right here, of course. We have a lot of halberdiers here, here, and here. Then a lot of spearmen here, 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 and here. Then on top of that, we have 2 units of flagellants. In addition, we're going to be seeing 2 units of archers and then a unit of the silver bullets, the Regiment of Renown version of the handgunners, bringing some nice AP, some magic damage to the table. Now, in addition to that, we're going to also be seeing the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Keep in mind, always these Knights of the Blazing Sun have a higher armor, a better charge bonus, and they also have flaming attacks in addition to magic resistance, making them quite a good shock cav variant for not that much money when it comes to comparing them to Demogryph Knights. Now, the leadership elements here, we're going to be able to see the mighty Karl Franzia. He's going to have the Reichland rune playing Stand Your Ground, as well as Hold the Line and Foe Seeker. Now, Karl Franz isn't as tanky as, say, Boris Todbringer, but the nice thing here is that we do have a Jade Wizard. Most of the time when you're playing Bretonnia or when you're playing Empire, the Jade Wizard shores up any kind of low defensive capabilities that you would have on Empire or Bretonnian infantry, or even making any of the shock cav or elite infantry and cavalry elements of both those armies even more viable. We have Awakening the Wood, which is going to be very good against lightly armored Norscan units, as well as Earthblood and Power Stone. Now, for Aerocrastic's army, we're going to see some Marauder Spearmen through the front line here. Just 2 units of them, 2 units of Marauders, with one of them being the Icehorn Marauders, the Regiment Renown version of the Marauders. And in the back line, we're going to be seeing 2 units of Marauders with great weapons, and then Brutes of the Hound, the Marauder Berserker Regiment of Renown. In addition to, we're also going to be seeing 2 units of Armored Skin Wolves here. These are, of course, going to have Anti-Large, they're going to have Frenzy, they're going to have Regeneration, Immune to Psychology. They've got a lot going for them. They're also going to cause fear and have a little bit of physical resistance, as you can see, at 20%. So they bring a lot to the table for a very small package. In addition to that, we're going to see Wulfric the Wanderer with his Sea Fang, Fight or Die, and his Hunter of Champions ability. Sea Fang is going to go very well against this lightly armored Empire front line. If there are good lineups done, then Aerocrastic is going to be able to do quite a lot of damage to them. Now, lastly, we also have a Famir Balefiend with Shadows that is going to have Enfeebling Foe and Penumbral Pendulum, which I finally got right. Some Miststalkers in the back over here, as well as some Chaos Warhounds over in this corner as well. Let's go ahead and get this battle underway. There's going to be a lot of wind and spellcasting going on here that's going to go very advantageously for both sides, right? Aerocrastic has access to Sea Fang and Pendulum, which are going to do a lot of damage to lightly armored. Pendulum doing more damage to to heavily armored units. In addition to that, we're going to see Awakening Wood from Xiphos' Jade Wizard. So that's going to allow him to do a little bit of damage to any of these pulled up Norscan units. We can see the archers already looking to get some shots in on the Brutes of the Hound, a nice good little volley. We see Mighty Franzia jumping and slapping the bag early on these Marauder Spearmen, trying to get some early aggression play here. The Marauder Spearmen weren't braced, and on top of that, they are only anti-large with no AP value. But Karl Franz cannot withstand a prolonged anti-large engagement for too long. We can already see some of the action underway here as we get some gunfire and archer fire into those Icehorn Marauders. Ooh, a Pendulum just sweeping down right here onto these state troops. Xiphos, not Aerocrastic, does a nice little juke out of the way, gets some damage onto his Sigmar Sons, but a nice screening charge here into those Icehorn Raiders. And some far right action going down as well as the Armored Wolves jump into the Spearmen, in addition to the Marauders all jumping in at once. Sea Fang coming down here as well, doing some more damage to the Sigmar Sons, but also going all the way over into these Flagellants, just mulching through them. You can see that the Flagellants haven't even engaged in combat, and they're well below 50% health. Like I was saying earlier, Sea Fang can do quite a bit of damage. So let's take a look at this battle slowed down a little bit. So looking at what the armored skin wolves were able to do, they pushed back this unit of spearmen, and then were able to push over here both of those units, reinforcing elements of the Knights of the Blazing Sun, looking to come in here and help out against those skin wolves. Skin wolves do have regeneration, so they will have an innate weakness to the fire damage of the Knights of the Blazing Sun. So a great move by Xiphos, countering Aerocrastic's large move here of all of these armored skin wolves coming in. Also in the back, we can see that Wulfric is getting focused by some fire from the silver bullets. A lot of magic damage and AP being poured into him. Some archer fire going in as well. Reichland Runefang, Stand Your Ground, and Earthblood overcasted all into this mix here. Hunter of Champions has dropped onto Karl Franz. We have Fight or Die on Wulfric himself. Everything's being popped off in this little alpha pocket here. We can just kind of take a look from a nice Awakening Wood over there to the Boots of the Hound, who were just kind of stationary, getting a nice good shot into them. Aerocrastic pushing further, though, with all of his large creatures into these Empire State troops. He's got the advantage of size against these models, though as long as he can keep a good momentum on them and push into some of these more weak units in the backfield, like the archers or the silver bullets, it's going to work out very well for Aerocrastic. But what he has to do here is keep all of his marauders engaged onto the rest of his... Oh no, Wulfric's getting focused down so hard into the rest of those state troops so that his larger units can push through. Aerocrastic getting jumped in the butt by Karl Franz there. A lot of range fire just being poured into the Hunter of Champions here, the King of Norsca there. So that's the Blazing Sun coming back from this little engagement, looking to get another nice, better charge in. The Armored Skin Wolves retreating back a little bit. They do have regeneration, so they're going to come back in health over here. Wulfric just pushing out of this engagement. He's not really reinforced. He was kind of caught out on his own over there. We have some Halberdiers marching into the Mistwalkers, a good charge, giving them some AP and anti-large on those guys. Another Awakening Wood dropping down onto those Marauder Spearmen. Seafang looking to rip through as well. Oh no! So sometimes what happens here, it looks like Aerocrastic wanted to do this, and sometimes wind spells can just kind of bug out at the last minute, and instead it went this way. Had it gone down this line of archers, it would have probably gibbed the whole unit, if not broken them. And it would have mulched into these silver bullets. So that is quite unfortunate there. But the Seafang still did some good damage over there to those Halberdiers, helping out with this pocket of Norskins moving in over in this direction. Now, looking at the battle line here, it's pretty... Another pendulum coming down. Just dodged by those spearmen. And that looks like another inadvertent one, too. It went like this, but it probably should have gone like that. Sometimes, like I said, that can happen, and it's very frustrating. If you're the caster, you're like, well, that was a waste. Twice. So looking here, we can see that the Norskins are pushing over in here. They have been pushed back from this line a little bit, and there's a large pocket over here that's pushing with all the heavier, larger creatures. Karl Franz is getting in there, though, trying to get some damage onto things and looking to put the hurt onto the Famir Balefine a little bit. The Feebling Foe has been cast onto him, though, so reducing his melee defense and melee attack. For those of you who don't know, melee defense and attack are your likelihood to hit as well as be hit. This decreases his ability to hit as well as increases the amount of times he will get hit. In addition to that, look at this. We take a look over at Franzia. With Enfeebling Foe and Hunter of Champions, his melee defense is at 0. Anything is guaranteed to hit him. Also, his armor is down to 70, so he's taking quite a lot more damage. He's not going to be hitting as often here. You can see it's all the way down to 30. So he's used Stand Your Ground to kind of counter that a little bit, and as the other one fades off, we can see that his melee defense does come up a little bit more in this engagement. But looking to keep that pressure on the Familial Balefine, wanting to just really put pressure on the casting elements of Aerocrastic army. Karl Franz is jumping in here. Xiphos is just having him go back and forth. Look at that, just sweeping charge down and forth. Wulfric on the far left over there is low in health. We can see one unit of archers is looking to flee off the table here, threatened by those armored skin wolves in the back line, who are now being put down, though, by the Knights of the Blazing Bro. We have a Power Stone being knocked off onto that Jade Wizard, looking to get another Reichland Runefang drop down over here, maybe even an Earthblood. But our die has gone off on Wulfric. He needs all the help he can get, though. He's being focused down by those silver bullets. We have plenty of aggression coming towards him. The archers have gotten a nice distance over here. The Mistwalkers pushing through the whole rank. A Seafang from the rear pushing through that unit of archers and down over into some other units of spearmen over here. We can see Franzia has his eye set upon the Hunter of Champions himself. The Knights of the Blazing Bro pushing in there as well. The Miststalkers did kind of get stopped dead a little bit before they could get into that backline, into that cookie jar as well as they wanted to, getting focused on by some of the spearmen. Wulfric the Wanderer has now broken, and the balance of power bar is shifting wildly in favor of Xiphos. So this was a pretty brutal engagement, right? We saw a lot of things going right for Xiphos, and a lot of things just not really hitting as well as they wanted. Oh, no, the Brutes of the Hound getting hit with Awakening of the Wood. We saw things not really getting hit as well for Aerocrastic. I think that some of Aerocrastic's wind abilities didn't knock off the way that he wanted them to. I think that sometimes, like I said, it glitches out and it doesn't go as well as you want. But as a whole, I think that Xiphos took a less armored line, or I'm sorry, a less armored cavalry line than you typically see with Empire. Empire nowadays has a lot of Empire Knights, a lot of Knights of the Blazing Sun, to really threaten and keep mobility on their opponent. In this case, he went with a large amount of state troops, a nice amount of fire, range fire from the archers and the silver bullets. You can see they didn't get a lot of kills between the three of them, but they were able to focus so much damage onto Wulfric, they got him out of the fight very quickly. So I think that in the long run, this worked out quite well for Xiphos. I don't know if he really planned on seeing this. Typically, with Norsca, you will expect some Feral Mammoth play. They have gotten their points reduced and increased as of late, but they're still pretty cheap for what they do. Aerocrastic, though, knows that when he's playing against Empire, you can deal with a lot of cavalry options. There's Demogryph Knights with halberds, a lot of ways to really threaten a Mammoth. So he went with a little bit more of an infantry play that I think initially was very much working out for him. He had a lot of really good aggression pushing through the line, but unfortunately it all just didn't click the way he wanted to. I think some of those wind spells were really his Achilles heel. But this concludes our little 1v1 here today. We got plenty more coming this week. Don't forget to tune into the Everchosen this weekend. You've got myself, Turin, Lore Master of Sotek, and Party Elite all as your forecasters for the weekend. And you can see Aerocrastic and Xiphos squaring off in the Everchosen Invitational number 5 coming up this weekend. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.